Hey, well, hello to everyone out there in YouTube land. I hope that everybody is doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for asking. I just wanted to come kind of quickly just to encourage us as wives, as women, as daughters, as mothers, to do our best to be the wisest as we can be. We are called, I believe that as women, we are called to be wise. And this message also can, of course, be conveyed to men as well. Men can use some of the tidbits from it as well. But yeah, I believe that we are called to be wise. And at this time, and not just at this time, I just believe that every step of our life, we should not live above our means, but we should live beneath our means. I mean, like well beneath our means, because it's just I don't think it's wisdom to be so extravagant and wasteful and excessive. The things that we have could be used, much better than we do, especially those of us who are wives and or mothers, even daughters, because if you're taking care of your parents, or if you're responsible, someone who is responsible for taking care of their elderly parents or senior parents or senior aunts, uncles, whoever is senior in your family, you can't just, be spending money willy-nilly, and or when you have products in your home, the things in your home, you should also be careful with them. When you're making a meal, the meal should be as economical and frugal as possible, nutritious, of course, but it should also be frugal, and it should not be things that are wasted. You make enough for the family, and if you're going to do batch cooking, you make enough for what you're going to eat that day, and then what you're going, you could some that you can put away in the freezer for another meal or two. But I see so many of us who are not teaching this to younger generations, and who are, again, very wasteful, very excessive. Many people are not they don't even have the finances to live in a certain way, but they are trying to live that way on credit cards and other things. That's really fake life. It's not genuine, and it doesn't look inure to you as being a genuine person. It's like you're a fake person, or you're a person trying to be someone else, or you're not there yet. If you're not there, you stay where you are until you're able to make it. But if you live beneath your means, you can do it. There are so many resources out here in this world, especially if in America, not just in America, other places as well, but I'm speaking about America right now. But there are so many resources, there are so many ways that you can live very nicely, very comfortable, and very cleanly and decently and stressless, because I would think that it's very stressful to try to have new outfits every day, okay, to change my furnishings every month, every year. And I'm not even finished paying off, in quotes, the bill from the other furniture that I purchased, because a lot of people, again, you're buying things on credit. You're not even saving up the money. I mean, there are so many credit unions and or other financial institutions that help you save up money to reach a goal in order to purchase something. But nobody does that. I see people all the time. They're putting everything, maxing out credit cards. Why? Why would that's not wise. It's not wisdom at all. And it caused so much headache and heartache. Why do you think the divorce rates are as they are? It's not really that people are unfaithful in their marriage, although what financial issues do result in sometimes unfaithfulness in marriages, unfortunately. But yeah, in marriages, we have to be wise, especially if you're the homemaker. You can't have this man out here busting himself to make money for the family, and then we only make 40,000. Let's just say, for instance, we only make $40,000 per year, and that's pretty low, but a person can make it depending on which region they live in. But let's say $60,000 per year, but you're spending like he's making $100,000 a year, and the man has no time. He's stressed out. He's looking at these bills and stuff. No, that's not good, sister. That's not a good thing. You have to respect your husband. Excuse me. You have to respect your husband and love him enough, and your family enough, not to go through that. You don't have to have everything. Don't look at what other people. The problem is our identity also is in question, or not in question, but we don't know our own identity. We have to try to be like everyone else, because you see someone else with a new car, because you see someone else with new furnishings and new this and new that and new clothes and new shoes and bags and all of that kind of stuff. And nails and hair and makeup and all of that. You have to have it, but you don't have to have it. And some things you can do yourself. You can purchase them yourself and do them at home. We got to go back to the basics. We got to go back to the old ways and stop being so excessive and trying to be like the Joneses and whatnot, because it doesn't do well. And what are we teaching the next generation when we do this? What are we teaching the next generation? So I just want to encourage us. If you have credit card bills and things of that nature, try to pay those off and stop using them. Using them as cash now, or is it as cash, or excuse me, I'm sorry. Because I will, like, every few months use my credit card, but that is for the purpose of my credit rating, and or excuse me, they've contacted me to tell me they're getting ready to cancel the card because you're not using it. Which I don't, and if I'm going to use it, like just recently, excuse me, I did make a large household purchase, but I had the cash I could just have bought the thing, but because I had a credit card for the particular store, whatever, I went ahead and made the payments over 2 or 3 months, just for the sake of, again, credit and whatever. But excuse me. So, I'm so sorry. Ooh, must need some lemon water. But but we have to be wise. But if you don't have the money to buy something, and if it's not an emergency, then you shouldn't spend it. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't charge everything. That's not wisdom at all, because it causes so much stress. You got those. I hate bills. I hate anything coming across my doorway into my mailbox saying I owe anything. I hate it. Even when I did that made that purchase and paid it, I hated it, because even though I have the money, it's just like, I just don't like the badger it. I don't like the badgering. You sending me something telling me I owe you. Then I get a little anxiety, because I'm like, okay, did I pay that? And did I pay it on time? And all of that. I just don't have time for that kind of stuff anymore. Those certain things anymore. And I just don't, it's just like, even my phone bill is like, I'll be like, did I, just to make sure it's on time and all of that. I hate bills. I hate bills. Okay. Honestly, I don't like them at all. But yeah, so I just want to encourage you, to pay off whatever you owe, If you don't have the money for it, then you don't need it. And two and three, get a couple of accounts. Put money in for certain things. If you want to save up to buy a car, you want to save up to buy a washing machine, or you want to save up to buy, something that you guys could need for the family or something. Get an account at a credit union or somewhere where you can start saving the money. Or if you're not if you're not disciplined enough, because otherwise you could use some type of lockbox or some kind of bank in the home. But yeah, so yeah, just because it's stressful. I know you're under a lot of stress, and I know your spouse, if he's the one that's working, the only one that is working, he's under a lot of pressure, especially when you are steadily spending the money. Money was meant to be spent, yes, but you have to be disciplined and use wisdom on what it's spent for and how often it's spent for it. Even in our groceries, I see so much wastefulness in grocery shopping. People they don't even find out what it is that they have already in the home in order to meet up with the groceries that they could purchase outside. They just buy stuff over and over and over again. Things are expiring, or things have been opened and not used, and just food in the house for nothing. And I'm just out of respect calling it food, because all of those boxes that are not ingredients and all those in packages are really almost not food. But no disrespect, because we all been there. But yeah, so just use wisdom, be more frugal, use wisdom when whatever you have, in the home as food already, see what you can pair it up with, before going out and buying a bunch of other stuff. Learn how to preserve food and whatnot, and put food on your own pantry shelves and things of that nature. There's just so many things that we could do. I want you to drop in the comments what is wisdom to you? What kind of wise or frugal methods do you take in your home, or what do you suggest to younger homemakers, or homemakers who have went astray, who are rebels and on the run there, because some of them are just, and they're older women, some of them, and they're just out here doing crazy stuff. And no disrespect to you, but yeah, you gotta do better than that, because you're not doing well for anyone, when you misbehave like that. It's just better if we do better. So anyway, I hope that I've said something that was helpful and not necessarily what's the word? I want to say disrespectful, because of lack of a better term at this point, but offensive. Yeah. Hope that you have not been offended, but have been encouraged to slam down your spending and whatnot. Use wisdom in making purchases. If you don't need something, there's no need to purchase it. Just shave off wherever you can shave off. It's going to do you a world of good. I remember when the Lord first called me to start living beneath my means, and I was like, oh, although I've never been like a very, never been a wasteful person. I came up in an era, and when I say this, it sounds like I'm joking, but I call it a depression era, because the era that I came up in, I had 4 children. I was a young mother. I was in school. There was, so the funds were not there. And I had to do what I had to do to make ends meet. And and a lot of, which, it only took me twice, like I think it was 2 times, to be broke in order for me to get the picture. Okay, this is not how you're supposed to live. You got to live well beneath your means, because I was at that time, most of the people that I was in company with, which was like a really best friend and a couple of cousins, and none of them had children, but they all had an income, or I shouldn't, maybe not even an income at that time. I think the cousins' parents were still taking care of them, but they had excessive, funds, meaning, they had money to spend or whatever, and do whatever they wanted to do with their money, because they didn't have children and they didn't have bills and all of that. But at that point, I had children and bills. So I couldn't live like they lived in, whatever. But it took me 2 times to be broke and not have any money. I had food, because one thing I believe in, even if you don't have money in your house, have food, and have your toiletries and things like that need to be in the house. Because I don't really mind if I'm broke, as long as there's food in the house. As long as all of my bills are paid, food is in the house, and I got my toiletries, then I don't really mind, being without money, because I have everything I need, really. But so it was twice that happened, and I didn't have money. And it was like, no, this can't happen while you have children in the home and whatnot. You have people that you need to be responsible for. And from that time, I had always lived very, frugal and things like that. I buy deals, when I purchase their clothes and purchase food and pay bills and stuff like that. Always did it with wisdom in mind and frugality and whatnot. And then, like I said, later in life, God called me to live beneath my means, which came very much in handy, because some years, or was it maybe the next year or a couple of years after that, there was a reason why I had to live like that, which I'm really, really grateful for, and that's how I've been living ever since, I just don't spend money anyway, anyhow. My family, they'll laugh about it, but then they'll say, "But it's good that she do that, because the money come in handy, or this and that and the other." Because truly, it should be like that, But I don't spend money anyway, anyhow. And I like good things and nice things. I believe in having quality things. But there's a way to get all of those things that I like, without going overboard, and without having to stress out trying to wonder how I'm going to pay for it. And these things are, if it's not food and a roof over your head and stuff like that, I believe people don't really need certain things. It's just they're trying to be like somebody else, and somebody else who has a miserable life. People who, now, no disrespect, please don't be offended and take this the wrong way, but people who dress up the outside in such a way that's excessive, and designer this, designer that, they don't have certain inside. Some people, they don't have it inside. They don't have the joy. They don't have hope. They don't have that's why they do dress up the outside. All kind of extravagant vehicles and homes and stuff in their house. They're trying to get a joy, trying to have happiness, trying to have peace. But you can't have it in those things. You can only really have it in Christ Jesus, to be honest with you. Only peace and joy and sufficiency I said peace, comes in Christ. And if a person doesn't have Christ, they're going to look outside for everything, So anyway, let me get off of here, because I said very quickly, and as soon as I said that, I should have recanted it. But anyway, I just hope that we will heed the message that I'm trying to convey. not be offended by anything that I'm saying, but just use wisdom in this life for our family's sake, for our community's sake. God bless you.